So we're really excited to have all of you here. I will introduce myself. My name is Ajay. I am one of the founding team members of Crio. I will be joined by Sridhar, who is the co-founder of Crio, who has in store for you today your first doing experience. We're going to get started with the first stage of the Crio Winter of Doing today itself. So I hope all of you are joining from your laptops. It's going to be a hands-on workshop, a hands-on session, and we'll give you more details about that in just a bit. All right. Again, if you have not joined Slack, we have sent you a link to join. It's an email. It's also in your SMS. Okay, so check it out. There's an exciting community waiting to be there with you and interact with all of you. Cool. All of you watching on YouTube today, right? Why don't we start with a few simple tasks? Why don't you go ahead and tell us where you're from? Which city are you in? Are you a student? Are you a working professional? And tell us about any cool projects you have done in the past and something that you're always excited about, right? So let's go ahead, start those introductions coming in, and we'll wait for your peers, okay? We'll give them a couple of minutes, maybe another 4 to 5 minutes to begin, right? 3 to 4 minutes, and then we'll start at 5 minutes past 6, okay? All right, cool. So while you go ahead and do your introductions, I'll give you a quick introduction of the Crio team and our backgrounds as well. Sridhar, who is the co-founder of Crio, who will speak with you later today, he comes from Google, and he's been a developer through and through, and also did product management at Google before quitting, returning to India, and starting Crio, right? Myself, I am also a developer through and through. I've got 16 years of experience in the tech industry, been through a few startups, also an ex-Googler myself, been at Google for about 5-6 years before returning to India, getting together with Sridhar and, joining hands to build what we think is the largest project-based learning platform in India, right? So, that's what. Let's go ahead and see. Let's see all your introductions as well on YouTube. Just a gentle reminder for those of you who are joining now. If you have not joined Slack, please go ahead and join. The links are in your email as well as SMS. We also have a Telegram group. Okay. That way, even beyond Winter of Doing, we can build an amazing community. And Crio, we really enjoy running these community programs and getting all the developers on board and running these amazing programs so that we can engage with you. We really love interacting with developers. So when we have future events that come up, we will announce it on Telegram, and we'd love for you to come back, participate, be part of the Crio family. The running joke is that, once you're within the Crio family, you're always within the Crio family, right? So it'll be amazing to keep in touch, all the driven, motivated developers of the country in one place. I think it'll be amazing, right? Cool. So I already see a few comments coming in on YouTube. It's amazing. I love doing this because you get to see what a widespread audience we have. And these are the people who are going on this journey along with you. So it'll be an amazing journey interacting with all of them, learning from different perspectives, from different people across the country, across the world, perhaps, right? So great. Yeah, quite a few people coming from outside the country as well. So that's pretty good. Awesome. All right. I think we've waited long enough. It's time to get started. Here is the agenda for the day. Okay. I'll introduce Crio. For many of you, you're hearing about Crio for the very first time. and you got excited by the Winter of Doing event. So we'll give you a short introduction about what Crio is, who we are, and what we do, right? And then we'll talk about your Crio Winter of Doing journey, what you will go through as part of a Crio Winter of Doing. And then we've already told you that there are 3 stages. So we'll talk about stage 1 and give you a detailed plan, the graduation criteria of each stage and the benefits that you get. All right. And then some simple ways of working. How do we work during the program? At 6:45, Sridhar will take over and he will start the HTTP session today, right? So there's no rest for all of you because, one thing I tell all the people who come to Crio for the first time is you're perhaps a little spoiled, right? You sit down, you're sitting in a class watching a video, and how much of that do you really learn, and how much of it do you really internalize? Doesn't happen on Crio. This is probably one of the longer sessions, 45 minutes of a monologue that you're listening to, right? But otherwise, it's very hands-on. And Sridhar's HTTP session, I think you'll have a fantastic time. So please make sure you join. And with your laptops, follow along. It's a workshop. It's a real workshop. Okay, cool. All right, a quick introduction to Crio. Here's how all of you are learning things today, right? It resembles the guy standing there in front of the pool, trying to learn how to swim. And guess what? He's reading a book written by the top swimmer in the world, Swimming 101, How to Swim. How many of you think this person is going to succeed in learning how to swim? Yeah? What is the best way to learn to swim? Right? If you were standing behind this guy, what advice would you give this person? Just jump in the pool, right? That is the best way to swim. Actually, that is the only way to swim, learn to swim. You jump in the pool, you don't know how to do it. Your coach is standing there. And the coaches are also incredible, right? They don't take you to the shallow end and throw you there. They take you to the deep end and throw you there. And they're just standing and saying, okay, come on, make your way up. And that's how your swimming journey begins. I know at least that's how my swimming journey began. And a lot of my friends had to go through the same ordeal to learn how to swim. But guess what? You all survived. You learned to kick your feet. You move your hands, get outside, take that first breath of air, and you're like, okay, I can at least survive. And slowly you start kicking your feet. You start using your hands. You can survive in the water. You get comfortable in the water. And then you can swim. And then you want to get perfect about how to swim. You want to make sure you move the hands outside the water. So it's learned in a very experiential way, in a practical way, in a hands-on way. You can never read a book, watch a video, and just do some simple tutorials to learn how to swim. That's not possible. It takes hard work, it takes discipline, it takes consistency, and more than anything else, it takes a lot of hands-on swimming to actually learn how to swim, right? If this is the best way to learn how to swim, by actually diving in the water, what is the best way to learn how to build products? Products perhaps used by millions of people across the world, right? It's by actually building them, right? Learn how to build a product and actually start building it and learn things along the way. You don't have to be an expert swimmer to start swimming, right? Everybody is a bad swimmer and then they get better. Similarly, you start with simple products, simple features, keep building it your way up, and then slowly you become one of these amazing developers working in some amazing company, right? The question is, see, I'm sure all of you have friends who work in some of these companies, Dropbox, Swiggy, Amazon, Google, Flipkart, so many of these companies. And I'm sure you use all these products, right? How did your friends become these people capable of building all these products in these companies? Were they already very well versed with how an Amazon or a Google works, how their cases are structured, all of those things? Probably not, right? They started just like you, graduated from college, practiced something, did something to crack an interview. Okay, that's all gray area. Nobody knows exact signs of how that works. But then they managed to crack that interview and they got in, and then suddenly it's development. It's not competitive coding anymore, right? But then your friend started with, first of all, downloading the code base. Everybody says, hey, welcome to the company. Here is our code base. Take a look. Just step through the code, see how the functions are interacting with each other, check the outputs here and there, add a few debug lines, and then figure out how the code is actually working the entire flow, right? So they only started learning one small thing at a time, contextual learning, right? And when they understood how to build small features and enhancements, they slowly added on to that, became feature owners in maybe 6 to 12 months. In about 2 to 4 years, they become owners of features and a large set of features. They become leads and all those things. So, but this learning is gradual. The ramp up is gradual. The learning is contextual, and they grow up using the technology and tools within the company, and they become well versed with all of those things, right? Until they become these independent problem solvers capable of building features used by millions of people, right, every single day. Delightful products. What if all of you could get a similar learning opportunity, right? That's what we do at Crio, right? You don't have to be part of these amazing companies to go through the learning journeys that developers go through, right? You can come to us and we do something which is very similar. We take you through the same learning journey so that you come out as competent, strong, confident developers who can join companies and be productive on the first day. No ramp up required. That's what we do. Anyway, so let's talk about Crio Winter of Doing. Okay, it's India's largest tech externship program for developers, right? You have an opportunity for so many things, working on challenging real world projects. Okay, these are not toy projects suggested to you by your professor in college or something like that, right? This is coming from the industry. We've partnered with some of the most promising, high growth startups in the country. Is Cred, there's Reco, Jumbotail, Vicara, Grow, and Slice. If you don't know much about what they do, I'd highly recommend that you go check them out. Very amazing companies solving some critical problems and setting the stage for an amazing growth of not only their own companies, but sort of related products as well, right? So we've partnered and collaborated with these companies, and they have given out projects that they think are very useful, not only for them, but even for students as a learning experience or participants. It could be working professionals who want to do it as a side project or a side internship, right? So pretty amazing. We also have, an exciting speaker lineup as well, which I will talk about. Here are some of the projects. Now, Cred, it's not just a credit. How many of you have heard of Cred? Right, they've created an amazing, premier subscriber base of people, and right now it's about monitoring credit, paying your bills, and other things. And their project is building a credit card management system, right? Even thinking about it, very exciting. Like, you have to build a credit card management system from scratch, the front end, the back end, and how it interacts together, solving a real problem, just the way you would in one of these amazing companies, right? Now, Grow wants you to build a contextual chatbot that is useful for investors, right? Say you want to get into stock trading, but you don't know how to get started. Can you have a conversation with a bot, and it gives you very relevant and a good, rich experience of learning how to build, learning how to invest. But then the back end is really a chat bot giving you all that information. Now, similarly, Jumbotail is into B2B commerce, right? Now, they want you to build a GPS-based asset tracking protocol. Very useful. Like if you are a logistics company, where do you know where your products are? How do you estimate delays, or how do you know that there are cancellations or insufficient products or low inventory? So you're going to actually build a GPS-based asset tracking protocol in collaboration with one of the jumbo tail projects, or cash flow management, right? Tracking all the transactions and figuring out what kind of cash flow your business has. So useful for small businesses. Reco, build an accounting integration service or an OAuth manager. Similarly, we have partnered with AWS, who wants you to build a task orchestrator in a scheduler library. Slice, amazing company, looking for you to build a doc library along with an integration with their DigiLocker, okay, which they provide. So, it's great exposure for you. You get to understand how these companies think, how these companies work, but not just at a superficial level, but you actually get to build some products. You're assisted by mentors from the industry. They're not necessarily from these companies, but all of them are very competent programmers and developers in their own right, right? And they're going to be here, volunteering, working with you all, and helping you build these projects from scratch, right? That's not all. You also get to interact with leaders from the industry. We have an amazing kickoff session with Binny Bansal. Okay, he is the co-founder of one of India's probably largest successes in recent times, Flipkart. Right? So he's going to be here on Monday to share his thoughts, talk about his journey, and hopefully inspire all of you, into becoming amazing entrepreneurs and developers and entrepreneurs and building your own companies. We also have a fireside chat with Vivek Ravisankar, who is the co-founder of one of the most popular websites amongst all college students as well as job seekers, HackerRank, right? So you have used HackerRank so many times before. You have thanked it, you have cursed it, you have loved it, you have hated it. But you can do all of those, but one thing you cannot do is ignore it, right? So Vivek is going to be with us to talk about things related to competitive coding and other things about HackerRank. And then we have an expert chat with Karan, who heads developer relations at GitHub India. And he's going to talk about how GitHub has changed the landscape for open source contributions and public repositories, and how it has made Git such a popular version control system, and how you can utilize all of this and up your development game. All right. So action-packed, very rich set of conversations that I hope all of you will attend and benefit from and interact with the guests. All right. What else? Is that all? Not quite. We do have some masterclasses from experts in the industry at various stages of Crio Winter of Doing. All right. So stage one, here are some sessions. We might have a workshop on AWS. And stage two and stage three, we have further more additional masterclasses for you to really get a very good deep insight on many aspects of product development. Mentoring from the tech community. We have a really vibrant set of mentors lined up. These people are not only very successful in their own development careers, but are also very passionate of giving back. Okay, they want to give back. They want to mold and mentor the next set of successful developers, industry leaders, right? And they're going to be working and interacting with you, right? And last but not the least, and one of the most asked benefits of Crio Winter of Doing is getting discovered by Crio's hiring partners, right? Do well in these projects, and then you get an opportunity to present your work in a very detailed technical fashion in front of a panel of hiring partners, and who knows what can happen, right? Anything is possible. Sounds exciting. I hope all of you are excited. At least I know I am, and I speak for everyone at Crio. We've worked really hard to put this together, and the industry partners are really eager. When we approached them first, it was like, "Are you serious? I mean, you really think that people will go out there and spend their spare time to work on these projects?" And then we said, you'll be surprised. We've done CSOT before, and this time is completely different. We want to up the game and cater to an audience that already has some familiarity with building web applications, and throwing them that challenge. And this is a way for you to sort of do it's as good as doing an internship with some of these companies without having to be part of them, right? So amazing set of benefits, challenging projects. Okay, none of them are things that you can knock out in 2-3 days. None of the projects are ones you can copy off the internet either, right? They're all original projects. So it's going to be amazing. The discovery process for yourself, the frustrations, the hard work, and then the first time your code works, and then your integration works perfectly, and then you're able to demo it, right? I'm sure you'll come out very strong with a full sense of accomplishment. And then there are rewards to balance all of those things as well. Cool. Right? At least I know I am excited. I know I speak for everyone at Crio. We are super excited to host all of you. All right. So dial a little bit back, how you'll go through this journey, the externship journey. We will start off with a few learning experiences from Crio that we will give out to everybody. Okay. We have something called micro experiences. Okay, micro experiences are a Crio's way of helping you take the avatar of a developer in a leading company, and you go through the same learning journey that they went through. Okay, like I talked about how your friends join some of these companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Flipkart, right? And how they go through a learning journey where they take a few things initially and gradually build it up. That's what micro experiences are like. It's like a guided project. There's a tech lead who's there to help you out. There's existing code base in which you're trying to add new features that don't exist, right? There are no solutions. All the code you write is being created for the very first time, right? And while you're writing this, you also have to go through a lot of supplemental learning yourself. Like you go to Stack Overflow, you search on Google, you read a few tutorials, you watch a few YouTube videos, but you come back and write your own code. So it's very similar to that, right? And that's what you will do. I'll give you a glimpse of what micro experiences are and how they will go about. Say you want to build a backend. Learn how to build a scalable, distributed web backend, right? So what we'll take you through is a micro experience, also known as a guided project called Q Eats. Okay, now Q Eats is a food ordering app. All right, you browse a list of restaurants, you select the one you want, you add some items from the menu to cart, checkout, pay. Right. So when you come to learn how to do backend development on Crio, we give you a beautiful looking Android app that you can install on your phone. We have built a backend that works with this and the database and everything associated with that. But then there's a catch. In the backend, we have removed a few modules. Okay. So when you open the app we've given you on your Android phones, you notice that the first screen, which is supposed to display a list of nearby restaurants, is not working. Right? And you come to us and say, hey man, what happened? This is not working. And we say, I don't know. You're supposed to figure that out yourself. Right? Of course, we give you help, we give you some instructions, we give you the tools required and a platform where you can debug all of these things, right? And then you slowly figure out that a request is being sent from the app to the backend. And the app is supposed to use this information, which includes the user's location and other details, go to the database, fetch a list of restaurants, and return it to the app. That functionality is, you guessed it right, missing. And that's what you have to write, right? And as you write this, you slowly go through all the details, read the existing code, see how the request is coming, how it is being processed, how to connect to a database, all the good stuff. Figure it out, write your code, test it, deploy it, commit your code, done. Then the first screen starts working. And then the rest of the app flow has multiple other interactions. I'll show you that now, right? So you open up the app, it takes your location, right, and sends it to the backend. The backend fetches a list of restaurants nearby, returns it to the app. Okay. The user selects a restaurant. You have to fetch the menu and come back. You select items from the menu, add it to cart, make a payment, you check out, and you're done. You can also implement a search feature for items instead of restaurants, and it should return a list of restaurants and then select a restaurant and go through the order flow. Now, each of these interactions you saw has a corresponding backend implementation, which has not been implemented. Like you are going to do that. And you need different skills at different stages of the project. So when you start, you just learn what you need at the initial stages to make the home screen work. Then you learn, okay, how do I get the menu API? What do I need to know? Are you using dummy data or are you going to use real data from a real database? Are you going to do unit tests? Are you going to check if your app handles scale? Like QEats, it's a food ordering app. What if everybody, like hundreds of thousands of people started placing orders just before an IPL game? Where are the bottlenecks in your app? Can you debug it? Can you make your SQL query more optimal? Can you cache something so that you don't have to make so many DB lookups? We gradually build it up. And at the end of it, you come out as a very strong, confident developer who has great independent problem-solving skills, debugging skills, and all the things you need to become a successful and effective product developer. That is the goal. Okay, cool. So learning constructs. How am I going to do this by myself? Is it even possible? Does this even work? Well, I didn't say it was going to be easy. It's going to be challenging, but you will get all the help and resources you need, right? You put in the effort, we supplement with everything else that you need to make your learning journey effective. We start with Bytes, okay? Bytes are small hands-on tutorials. They are designed to help you learn a concept in detail, but in isolation. For example, Linux basics or Git basics, HTTP. You learn only that particular concept in some level of detail, okay? Functional detail. In a hands-on way, it's not like sitting and watching a YouTube video 30 minutes and it just keeps rolling and rolling. No, not like that. You read a little, try it out, very hands-on. And Sridhar is going to give you a glimpse of that today, right? So just hang tight. Reminder, get your laptops, okay? Don't be lazy and just keep watching. Get your laptops. It's going to start, 20 minutes from now. Boot it up right now. The second stage after Bytes is micro experiences, okay? These are the guided projects I talked about. You already saw QEats, right? So we give you code. There are blanks in between. You fill in the blanks. Read the code and fill in the blanks. Initially, it's 10, 20 lines of code, the blanks. And then slowly, the blanks get bigger. You're doing hundreds of lines in multiple files in order to make a single feature work. Okay. So if you think the first couple of modules are easy, just wait till you get towards the middle or to the end of the micro experience or guided project, and you'll face the heat, I'm sure. Right. Now, this is what you'll do. Okay. Do the Bytes, get the basics, apply them in a guided project or a micro experience, and then you get to the externship phase. All right. The externship phase is the build out. Okay. We call it build outs, but internally, but now it's externships. And this is where you actually go through the actual project that is coming from our industry collaborators. Okay. The ones that we just saw above, right? So 3 steps: Bytes, micro experiences, and then the externship, which is stage 3. All right. Cool. So this is what you're going to do. Does this even work? Can anybody do it this way? Does this even make sense? Well, if you have friends working in any of these companies, Flipkart, Visa, Rakuten, Jio, GoIbibo, Capillary, Vogo, Jumbotail, Cred, Kalera, Playment, Urban Ladder. There's also Phone Pay. We didn't have space to put it in there, right? So go talk to them. And they'll all tell you that when they joined the companies, they went through a cryo learning experience in the beginning. We've been very effective in onboarding freshers when they join companies and transform them from those competitive coding people, right, into people who can write good quality, well tested, industry standard code, solving real problems, working with multiple files, thinking about software design, thinking about extensibility of the code. What other functionality might I have to add in the future? Taking all of that into account, documentation and comments that all of you laugh about, right? Anyway, so all of these things, right? Cool. Uh, anyway, so these companies love it. They keep coming back to us. Like Flipkart, we've done it 3 years in a row now. And the question they ask us is, are there other people who have gone through these learning experiences that we can interview for hiring positions? And that's why we're bringing it out to in the open. Think about this as sort of talent sourcing at scale. If someone has graduated from a cryo program, then it bears with it a certain brand and a certain level of accomplishment that other companies really want you. You become the sought after developers. Cool. We have some testimonials. It's on our blog. Okay, so you can go to blog.cryo.do and check it out. They really like it. People have gone through a range of emotions during their cryo journey. They come in with a lot of excitement, and then suddenly the amount of work they need to put in, it hits them. But then, if you want to really achieve something meaningful, you have to work hard. Very few people work hard, and that's why very few people become super successful as well, right? Of course, there's luck and so many other factors that come in, but at least you do whatever you can in your control. And many of these developers have done that, and they've seen the fruits of their efforts. Amazing success stories to share with all of you. They're on LinkedIn. They're also on our blog. Please go check it out. Okay. All right. So let's come to your Crio Winter of Doing journey. Okay. Please pay attention here. There's a lot of detail. I'll try to simplify it so that you can consume it really easily. Okay. What you're starting today is stage 1. All of you are eligible for stage 1. Okay. All the participants that we've selected so far, you've already got, a letter stating that you have been selected for the stage. Congratulations. We're really happy that all of you are here. We're really excited to host all of you. And all of you can get started with stage 1. The duration of stage 1 is 2 weeks. We start today, we finish on Jan 17th. The time commitment required from your end is anywhere from 10 to 15 hours. Very important, okay? This is not a race. The first finisher has 0 advantages over someone who finishes last, as long as both of you finish it before Jan 17th. Okay, we are looking for depth, we're looking for quality, we're looking for thoroughness. Go through the material slowly, carefully, pay attention, and get the full learning outcomes, the intended learning outcomes. Do well on that. Okay, no race. This is not a race. So what will you learn? We'll start off with some essential developer skills. Okay, HTTP, REST APIs, Linux, Git. If all of these seem alien to you, or some things that you've done before but you need you don't mind a quick refresher, then this is the right time to do it. Okay, some of you might have done these in earlier cryo programs. If you have already done it, you don't have to repeat it again. Okay, I repeat, but you don't have to do these bytes again. Okay, we will consider it done and all you have to do is do the next two things. We're going to have a workshop on AWS, okay, which will be taken by Crio staff, right? So we'll go ahead and do one of those learning modules, how AWS works, create your own virtual machine, and deploy an existing application, and then you can share some of your learnings as well. And the last part, you get introduced to full stack development by going through one of our micro experiences. It's called QProfile. Some of you have heard about it before, but basically it's your about.me page, just like About Me. It's your personal profile page, your personal brand. You can create your own page, add your projects, add your bio, add some thoughts about yourself. You can share your hobbies, projects, pictures, all those things. And you could potentially share it with recruiters, your friends, all the good stuff, right? So QProfile is what you're going to do. To complete all of this, you have 2 weeks, okay? If you're thinking 2 weeks is long, you'll be surprised because it's going to take a little bit of time, okay? 10 to 15 hours. So make sure you plan your work accordingly, okay? Those who finish stage 1 successfully and will go ahead and graduate to stage 2, okay? There are no other shortcuts to get to stage 2. You have to satisfy the stage 1 graduation criteria, and only then you will be admitted to stage 2. Stage 2 starts on Jan 18th and continues till the 6th of February. Okay, that is also 2 weeks. Okay, the time commitment required is slightly higher during this time. It's 25 to 30 hours. Okay, and you're going to do a couple of things. One, we give you some prep material to work on your coding skills, and then there's going to be an assessment at the end of it. Okay, it's a coding assessment. You get some prep material and some suggested resources that you can go through, but go through them and then take the coding assessment. Okay, the second part, we give you some project preparation material. This is where you start getting your feet wet with actual core development work. Okay, so you'll do that, complete the project preparation material, and then you build a small mini project. Okay, nothing to be afraid of, very achievable, and all the help that you need along the way. We realize that you're getting, some of you might be getting started with your development journey, and we are mindful of that, right? So you do the project preparation first, get the skills you need, and then complete the mini project. All right. We will also share some free resources, like I said, for the coding and mini project assessments, whatever you need, all that will be shared with you. Go through it and complete these two things. Okay. You have to do both in order to graduate and qualify for stage 3. Okay. Makes sense? Right. Now, the exact details, if you have questions, what is the mini project? What is the assessment? We let you know when you start stage 2. Okay. What material will you give me? When will you give it to me? We will let you know when you start stage 2. Okay. So don't jump the gun. Don't worry about what is in stage 2, stage 3. Your focus today should be on stage 1 and finishing that. All right. Now, stage 3 is for candidates who graduate from stage 2 with the right criteria. Okay, the coding assessments will have a cutoff. The project also will have some testing and other things that you have to satisfy in order to graduate. If you make it past that, that's when you get to the meat of the program, the stage 3. It starts on February the 13th. Okay, and continues till March 27th. That is a total of 6 weeks. Okay, your time commitment is going to be about 80 hours. Okay, at least to do the basic implementation of what is required in the externship. If you want to make it fancy and add some additional features of your own, this time could go up. But we estimate that to get a basic functionality of the externship projects, it'll take you about 80 hours of time commitment. Okay, so what we'll do in stage 3 is this is where your projects are allocated. Okay, we will take your preferences into account. Okay, your first preference might not always be available, so be mindful of that. We'll also take a look at fitment. Maybe you're showing strengths in one area, then we will tend to assign projects for you in that particular area. The fitment is also important, but don't worry about it too much, right? Because generally the prerequisites for all the projects seem to be somewhat similar. You're going to work in teams. It's not individual anymore. That brings with it amazing possibilities and some challenges as well. Okay, because you have to really collaborate. If you're writing code and somebody else is writing it with you, then you have to make sure that both of you have agreed on certain, contracts. Okay, I'm going to publish data in this particular way so that they can also consume it in the same particular way. Otherwise, it'll be like that joke where you have two railway tracks coming and joining like that, right? You don't want that. Anyway, mentoring from the industry will also be there. There's going to be master classes. And then once you finish the project, and only those who complete it will get an opportunity to demo the projects in front of the companies that gave the projects in the first place. Okay, that's going to be exciting, and it could lead to some amazing, exciting, and very happy outcomes. Right? I don't have to tell you more about it. I'm sure you can put two and two together. Okay. All right. So I'll give you even more details about stage one. I know this is the journey. Okay, 3-stage journey, exciting. I hope all of you have a good grasp of what it means. Let's talk about stage one. Don't worry about stage two, stage three. It's out there. You first have to qualify. Stage one is what matters. Please focus right now. Okay. Here's what you'll learn. 5 bytes, out of which one of them is also a session. Okay, so we'll do HTTP starting today. Okay, it's not what is HTTP. It is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Which port? 80. No, it's not like that. Very hands-on. Okay. I'm sure you've heard of questions like this in an interview, right? What happens when you enter a URL in the browser on Chrome? What actually happens to service that request that you're making? What type of request is it? What's inside the request? What kind of different responses can you get? Okay, and those of you who have taken the HTTP byte, you should see our feedback, and they love it. Okay, they've never experienced learning like this before. Next, we look at REST APIs. Okay, web applications communicate with each other largely using REST APIs. There are many other ways to communicate as well, but REST APIs are a very, very popular way to do it. Okay. And we're going to do some fun things like, you can send a tweet right from your Linux terminal, right? There's also, from there, we move on to Linux. How many of you have used Linux before, comfortable with Linux? What kind of cool tricks and things have you done on Linux? Well, have you done data analysis using the Linux terminal? Have you written some automation scripts? Well, if you haven't, or if you don't even know what that means, then the Linux byte is where you will get a really good introduction to how these things work, right? Then we'll go on to cloud basics. You'll create a server in AWS. You'll deploy an app. We'll give you the app, okay? But your job is to figure out how to deploy it and get it into the hands of everybody in the world, right? That's what you're going to do. And then version control, very important. Git, particularly important if you're collaborating with other people, okay? So you're going to get some initial introduction to Git in a very hands-on way. So these are the 5 things you will do as part of your opening week, okay? Opening 2 weeks, the first stage, okay, stage 1. The next part and the final part in stage 1 is also to work on a micro experience. Okay, it's called QProfile. Now, QProfile is an amazing profile that you create on the internet. Like it's MySpace, or it's like your Facebook page, but without all the comments and activity. You can, like I said, you can share your projects, your bio, a link to your CV, your contact details, hobbies, a link to all your professional portfolios, all of the good stuff, right? So you're going to build this yourself. We give a lot of the code, okay? This is basically testing the waters. You do a little bit of HTML, a little bit of JavaScript, a little bit of CSS, right? And then a little bit of React, a little bit of Node.js. You'll figure out a little bit about how to deploy an application. Everything is a little bit, because this is just a flavor. Okay, we want to see if you can take something like this, read through it, follow some simple instructions, and then build your own profile. And you get something really nice to take away, this profile itself, right? Something that will stay with you, something you can keep, right? So you're going to do all of this. Some of the details are on the left side. You can go through it, right? We'll also share these details on Slack. But this is an introduction to full stack architecture. We'll do this as a workshop, okay? And the timelines for the workshop we'll share later, okay? We get together, we do this together, and see how far you can get here, okay? So you're going to get plenty of help. It'll be a very enjoyable process, and I think you'll really enjoy the learning experience through all of this as well, okay? So this is what you will do as part of stage one. Here's a detailed plan. I want you all to memorize this right now. No, you don't have to. We'll share it on Slack, okay? All the details will be shared on Slack. You just have to go through it later and make sure you attend all of these things, okay? Cool. There's also going to be a parallel bonus contest. Okay, this has nothing to do with stages, stage 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter, okay? It's called the Share Your Learning Challenge, the Crio Winter of Doing Share Your Learning Challenge, okay? It's a bonus contest. We'll have some additional fun learning activities. How many of you completed the Sherlock activity? It's going to be similar to that. It'll only get more interesting, right? So you'll do that, and then you write a blog about that activity, okay? And then you submit a link to the blog, okay? Submit it to us, and then we'll evaluate, and then you get some attractive giveaways. Amazon, Echo Dots, we have t-shirts for the winners of the contest, okay? Those of you who complete these activities will be eligible. So that's what we're rooting for. And this has nothing to do with your stages, right? It's just for fun. It's a bonus contest. Do it when you're bored, do it when you're excited, do it whenever, okay? But please do it. I think there's some really amazing giveaways to be won. So go ahead and do this as well, okay? Cool. So step one, graduation criteria and benefits. Here's what's mandatory, okay? You have to complete all the bytes. HTTP, REST, Linux, Git. It's due on 15th Jan. The QProfile is a bonus, okay? So if you do this, the QProfile, it'll add value, okay, to your application towards stage 2, right? So go ahead and do this. And then if you can do some of these share your learning activities, we'll factor all of this into your stage 1 graduation. Be some benefits as well, right? You get a completion certificate. Everybody who finishes stage 1, you get a really nice, beautiful certificate. You've already seen Crio's designs everywhere. You get your name on this certificate designed by Crio, right? It's going to be amazing. And then you qualify for stage 2. We have some extra benefits as well, okay? If you are interested in taking up any of our premium programs, which are paid, right? We'll give you a scholarship that you can use anytime in the next 6 months. Okay, the scholarship is valid for 6 months. Usually our scholarships are valid for 1 week and you have to start soon. But this time, 6 months of validity so that you have time to finish the externship and then come back and consider our premium courses if you're interested. Of course, try your goodies for selected winners of the challenge. All right. So I don't have to tell you about this because Slack is buzzing. The activity is incredible. All the help that you get will be within the community. Okay. We will recognize people who help each other. Okay. If you're helping your peers, we will recognize you as well. There are goodies to be won even there. Okay. So community participation will be appreciated and recognized. Okay. So post your questions on Slack, help others with their questions. Okay. And then you can win these amazing Crio badges that you can share. I'll show you those right away. There are some guidelines on Slack, okay? No spamming. We will block people who spam. I'm serious, who wants to see the same thing again and again? I've seen some of those things. Not cool. Okay, we'll kick you out, and then you can come back with a different name, but this time you behave. Okay, and then use threads. Okay, I've seen people starting comments one after the other. Guess what, guys? There are threads. Keep everything within a context. Okay, very useful. There are separate channels for different bytes. If you go to the welcome channel and ask a question about HTTP, not cool, man, not cool. Right. Anyway, you get the idea, right? So that's how you get help on Slack. It's community driven. Crio mentors might be there to oversee a few things, but there's 10,000 of you. It's super hard for us. Okay, so help each other out. All right. Beautiful badges. Who wants them? Disciplined rooster for people who put in a regular time, stick to deadlines, and finish everything in a very staged manner according to the deadlines that we have published. Altruistic elephant for people who help each other. You know, we look at Slack, we look at the kind of help you're giving each other, and we will recognize. Okay, maybe you write a beautiful answer which explains something in very good detail. We will recognize this over time. Okay, there are people who will find it difficult. Okay, you have trouble, you're asking questions, you're trying to get as much help as you can, but then you never give up. Relentless bee, right? There's also rapid cheetah, people who finish fast, but we will also look at the other qualities, like, are you doing your work in a good way, or is it just random haphazard work? And trial by error, or just keep trying and something works. No, those things we will not recognize. But rapid cheetahs for that, and then unstoppable bull for people who are doing everything right and will not stop until everything is done. Cool. All right, cool. We also have some lovely friends joining you along this journey. You've already been introduced to them on Slack. Interact with them. They have some fun things. They have insightful things. They have techie things to share with you. I think they'll keep you some good company throughout the journey. And we're so happy to bring them to all of you. I hope you really enjoy the Crio buddies as well. Okay? All right, cool. That's it, folks. I'm going to stop here. There are questions that we're going to take on Slido. I will answer some of the most pressing questions, and the rest of them we will take offline. Okay. I will also welcome Sridhar here at this time, who will be here with us to talk about the next couple of stages.